Have you ever asked an AI chatbot a question you already knew the answer to? Not because you needed help, but because you wanted permission. You typed out the message you were already going to send and waited for it to tell you it sounded fine. You knew which job offer you wanted, but you described both options anyway, just to see which one it would pick. And the strange part is, the moment it agreed with you, something in your chest relaxed. Not because you learned anything new, but because now something had signed off. Most people think this is just convenience. Why think hard when a machine can think for you? But the truth is far stranger and a little more uncomfortable. What's actually happening is your brain quietly handing over a job it was built to do itself, the job of deciding what you believe. Today, we're stepping into the psychology of why the smartest people among us are the ones most likely to outsource their gut to a chatbot, and why that habit, however harmless it feels, is rewiring something important underneath the surface. Let's start with an obvious question. Why would smart people, of all people, be the ones most likely to defer to a machine instead of their own judgment? Shouldn't intelligence make someone more confident in their own conclusions, not less? Here's the uncomfortable answer. Intelligence was never about always being right. It's about being extremely good at noticing when you might be wrong. Smart people are usually highly aware of their own blind spots, biases, and the limits of what they actually know. That awareness is a gift most of the time. But put that same brain in front of a system that sounds endlessly confident, infinitely patient, and never tired of your questions, and that gift turns into a vulnerability. Researcher Gretchen Chapman has pointed out that the human brain evolved a very specific instinct: follow the most knowledgeable person in the room. For most of human history, that instinct kept us alive. The elder who knew which berries were poison, the hunter who knew where the herd moved. They were worth listening to over your own untested guess. But your brain doesn't actually have a separate detector for, is this a real expert or is this a machine confidently auto-completing text? It just registers. This source sounds certain and knowledgeable. Lower my guard, raise my trust. And right now, AI sounds more certain than almost anything else in your life. This is where we have to talk about the actual mechanism humans use to decide who to trust, something psychologists call epistemic deference. Every single day, you make hundreds of tiny decisions about whose judgment to borrow instead of forming your own. You trust your doctor about your blood test. You trust your mechanic about your engine noise. This isn't laziness, it's efficient. No one has the time or expertise to independently verify every claim in their life. But here's the catch. Healthy epistemic deference comes with built-in checkpoints. You know your doctor went to medical school. You know your mechanic has fixed 1,000 engines. There is a real person behind the claim, someone with a reputation, training, and skin in the game if they're wrong. When you ask AI a question, none of those checkpoints exist in the way your brain expects them to. But your brain doesn't fully register that. The chatbot writes in complete, articulate paragraphs. It cites things. It uses calm, measured language, the exact tone we've learned to associate with expertise. So your ancient pattern matching system quietly classifies it as an authority, even though what's actually happening underneath is a statistical prediction of the next most likely word, with no understanding, no stakes, and no skin in the game at all. Now let's talk about what happens to a decision once you've handed it over. Imagine you're trying to decide whether to leave a relationship that isn't working. You already feel it in your body, that tight, restless, something is wrong feeling. That feeling is your gut. And your gut is not mystical. It's actually your brain rapidly processing thousands of small data points, body language, tone shifts, gut-level pattern recognition built from every relationship you've ever lived through, and compressing all of that into one simple signal. This doesn't feel right. But instead of sitting with that signal, you open a chat window and type out the situation in a few paragraphs. Here's the problem. The moment you compress your entire lived experience into text, you've already lost most of the data. The hesitation in his voice last Tuesday, the exact way your stomach dropped during that one phone call. None of that survives the trip from felt experience to typed paragraph. So the AI isn't actually analyzing your relationship. It's analyzing a flattened, simplified summary of your relationship, written by someone who is, by definition, too close to it to summarize it neutrally. And yet, the answer comes back clean, structured, confident sounding. 3 bullet points, a clear recommendation. And because it's organized and articulate, it feels more true than the messy, wordless feeling you walked in with. This is the trap. Not that AI gives bad answers. Often the answers are reasonable. The trap is that a clearly worded answer about a flattened version of your life starts to feel more trustworthy than an unclear feeling about your actual life. There's a name for what happens next, and it comes from a much older body of research on automation. Psychologists studying pilots and automation back in the 1990s and 2000s identified something called automation bias, the tendency to favor suggestions from automated systems and to stop actively scanning for errors, even when something feels off. Pilots flying highly automated planes sometimes missed obvious problems because the autopilot hadn't flagged them, and a working autopilot had quietly trained their brain to relax its own vigilance. The frightening twist is this. The better the automation usually performs, the worse this effect gets, because trust builds every single time the system is right. And that trust doesn't reset itself when the stakes change. You ask AI to summarize an article, and it nails it. You ask it to help debug your code, and it works. Each small win adds a little more weight to the unconscious rule forming in your head. This thing is usually right. By the time you're asking it whether to quit your job or whether you're overreacting to something your partner said, that rule is already fully installed. And it gets applied to questions automation was never built to answer in the first place. Your gut doesn't get a vote anymore. It gets overridden by a pattern of past wins on completely different kinds of problems. So why does this hit smart, capable, self-aware people the hardest instead of protecting them? Shouldn't critical thinking skills act like a vaccine against this? Here's the part that surprises most people. Intelligence makes you better at noticing flaws in other people's arguments. It does not automatically make you better at noticing the absence of a flaw checker when you're the one being told what you want to hear. In fact, there's a deeper issue sitting underneath this. Many people who reach for AI before reaching for their own gut share a specific pattern, a quiet discomfort with uncertainty itself. Sitting in I don't know is genuinely uncomfortable for the nervous system. It feels like standing on a floor that might not hold your weight. A confident, well-formatted answer, even from a machine that has no real understanding, makes that floor feel solid again, instantly. So the appeal isn't really about AI being smart. It's about AI being available, endlessly patient, and always willing to hand you a floor to stand on. The second your own footing feels shaky. Compare that to a friend who might say, honestly, I don't know, that's a hard one. Or who might get tired of hearing about the same decision for the 5th time. AI never gets tired. It never makes you feel like a burden. And that frictionless, always-on availability is exactly what makes it so easy to start leaning on it for things that were never meant to be outsourced in the first place. The slow, uncomfortable, deeply human process of figuring out what you actually think. And this is where the backfire really shows up. Your gut, the thing psychologists actually call interoceptive awareness, the ability to sense and interpret your body's internal signals, isn't fixed. It's a skill. And like every skill, it gets stronger with use and weaker with neglect. Every time you sit with a hard decision, feel the discomfort, and arrive at a conclusion yourself, even a messy, imperfect one, you're reinforcing the neural pathways that let you trust yourself next time. But every time you skip that process and go straight to an outside answer, you weaken it slightly. The same way a muscle weakens when you stop using it and let a machine lift the weight for you instead. Do this enough times, and something subtle starts to shift. Not your intelligence, your relationship with your own judgment. You start to feel a tiny flicker of anxiety before trusting yourself on anything. A quiet, nagging need to check, just to be sure, even on decisions you used to make instinctively. That flicker is the real cost. Not that AI gave you a wrong answer, but that you slowly stopped practicing the act of being someone who answers. So what do you actually do with this? The point of this video isn't to tell you to throw your phone in a lake and never ask AI another question. That would be its own kind of overcorrection. The point is to put the tool back in its proper place. 1. Separate information questions from identity questions. What's the boiling point of water? What does this error message mean? That's information. AI is genuinely excellent there. Should I stay in this relationship? Should I take this job? Do I actually want this? That's identity. That requires your nervous system, your history, your values, data no chatbot has access to. 2. Sit with the discomfort for one full day before you outsource it. Most gut decisions don't actually need an answer in the next 10 minutes. Give yourself 24 hours of sitting in the unclear feeling before you go looking for something to resolve it for you. You'll be surprised how often clarity shows up on its own once you stop rushing to escape the discomfort. 3. Notice when you already know the answer before you ask. If you catch yourself typing out a decision you've already made just to see if it agrees, stop and ask yourself honestly, am I looking for information or am I looking for permission? Those are very different needs, and only one of them is actually solved by an AI response. In the end, the most unsettling part of all this isn't that AI might give you bad advice. It's that it's specifically designed to never make you feel the discomfort that good judgment requires. Your gut was built over millions of years to keep you alive using incomplete information and real stakes. It is allowed to be uncertain. It is allowed to sit quietly for a while before it speaks. The smartest thing you can do with your intelligence isn't finding the fastest path to a confident-sounding answer. It's protecting your own slow, occasionally messy, completely irreplaceable ability to sit with a hard question until you, not a chatbot, arrive at what you actually think. If you've caught yourself outsourcing a gut decision to AI recently, you're not behind, and you're definitely not alone. Let me know in the comments, what's the last decision you asked AI to make for you that you probably already knew the answer to?